Hi, this is Sherry. Veronica, as far as you guys are concerned, Lucifer is a Bajan and slavery never happened, okay? As far as you're concerned. So your nation paper, well, even Barbados Today, it seems as though it's Groundhog Day. It's like deja vu. It's like year in and year out, you can look on particular days and particular times and you can see certain things like this: urgent call on crime. This is not the first time you're seeing it. It's not going to be the last. In fact, they probably don't even need to print the paper anymore. You can just go on a particular day, on a particular year, and it's the same thing over and over again. The private sector sees severe backlash if gun violence is not tackled. Here, let's go back to him. Can you imagine how his muscles must have hurt him just to put on that smile? Can you imagine, your jaw muscles when you have to pull them back to smile? His must be in pain to try to get a smile on his face. Okay, let's go on. Bosses, take heed. What do you mean? What do you mean? Minister warns bad apples of court actions? You think they care about you taking them to court? Really? Let's go on. Tanis, let's fight crime together. Is she crazy? Is she crazy? Okay. You think the Block Boys are not seeing how Mia Motley and the people who live in Sandy Lane and the people who live on all the boulevards and all the different addresses that you put there to make people that live in those areas seem better off than others? You think the bad boys are not seeing that? You think when you come into this world hungry, that's a good thing? You think it's a good thing? You think getting a bad boy to fertilize your egg or your eggs and bringing forth children into the world from those particular fertilizations, you think it's going to get better? You think it's going to get better? Life is not going to get better in Barbados. They need to leave this Murrell guy alone. Victim of bar shooting, a decent man. He was in a bar of ill repute. I already blogged on this. You don't know who he was touching, who he was buying, what he was. You don't know anyone. You can't know anyone. Nobody here on this earth. None. You cannot get into the head of no one. You can't know what they're thinking. You can't know what they're doing behind closed doors. You don't know, not even the makers. Well, that's what they say. Not even the entities who made you could stand you. Okay? They could not even stand you. They had to leave this place and say, "Oh no, I got to get away from here." So you cannot really swear for anyone because you cannot know anyone. Call for churches to join police and fight against gun violence. People are leaving the churches in growth. People, are you crazy? You think they are not going through the pages of the history book, the Bible? It's really nice. It's a sweet book. Sweet stories, but you think that people after a while do not catch a clue? You think they're not catching the clue that they're being fooled and that people who are rich want to remain rich, and you don't think that they know subliminally? Because I think you guys are fooling yourselves, but there's a part of you that know that if anything were to go wrong in this world, they're coming back to get you. They're coming back to enslave you. Who's going to build up the world? Who's going to put back the railroads together? Who's going to build these capital and state buildings? Who's going to do that if everything is pulled down? They're going to come back to get you. And who were the best slaves? Who were the best of all the slaves? Black people. Black people. So you can go around thinking that Lucifer is a Bajan because you know that you should know by now that no good entity created the earth. You must know that by now. And you must know by now that anything fertilized by sperm comes from sin is going to die. And you must know by now, because you go through the pages of your Bible and you're a Christian nation, that they say there's no death in heaven. There's no death in heaven. You die here on earth. So if there's no death in heaven, but there's death here on the earth, where do you think you are? Just humor me. Where do you think you are? Where do you think you are? It's never dawned on you that maybe you are in hell? Never? Really? Seriously? Never thought that? That you're in hell? Oh God, you weren't created by a good God, okay? This is a world that starts with war, okay? War. And that sperm was AI, the first set of AI that came about, because there seemed to have been a God that was creating people, and then there was another entity that came in and said, you don't need no God creating you. You could do it on your own. Here, take this, take that. And we started doing it on our own, and that was not from a good God. So if you are worshiping the God of this earth, it's Lucifer. You gotta pick that up somewhere along the line, even though you wouldn't want to say it out loud, because you guys are cowards. Yeah, you may not want to say it out loud. It's something that even your holy scripts tell you. The stories. Someone put together those stories to give you a clue. Nothing is gonna happen with the bosses because the police are colluding with the bosses. Nothing is going to happen to Barbados because you got the stamp of England. England has stamped you as a place where people should go, like a zoo. People should go and, look at you and what language are these people speaking? Motherfucker, they're speaking English, okay? That's English, broken English, because they had to fool you when you had them in slavery. They don't recognize slavery, but it was there, and they're taught the way they do, because they had to find a new language so to tantalize your brain, so that when they want to escape or whatever they want to do, you didn't understand what they were saying, okay? So when they're on the beach, what language are you speaking? Well, I'm speaking English. But yeah, so, nothing's going to happen. You got the stamp of, king. Is a king now? You got the stamp of the king. So they send their people there on vacation when they take the holidays. They come to Barbados. So, you're going to get the tourism, because it's stamped, and you're gonna get some American because your money is pegged to the American dollar, and you have been selected. Barbados was selected as a place where people could go and interact with a slave community that have been pretty much tamed. You have been domesticated. You were the first set of domesticated people. Okay, you were domesticated, okay, to act nicely when you see white people. Pull your lips in so they don't look so, broad and so thick. Just pull your lips in and try to act white when you're around them. And you're good. It's good. It's all good. You like the money. You talk about Americans, but you like the American dollar. You talk about everybody, but once there's money that can be had, you're okay with that. So yeah, boss is taking heed, and Candace, let's fight crime, and your victim that was in the bar of ill repute, a good night. You see girls who go to their father's funeral and they're like crying, like daddy, and crying. And if the truth were to be known, the father was doing things that the father should not do, but they just put on performances. That's all this is a performance, okay? You have to realize it's an act. Just like emancipation was an act. The Emancipation Act is all an act. Nothing is real. Nothing is real. The only thing that you can say for sure is that Lucifer probably, he likes Bajans. You could probably say that for sure, that Lucifer probably, because, they like slavery, and they like people who are, slave quality. So yeah, so you can probably say that Lucifer, who created the sperm to fertilize the woman's egg, and everything went to death. Everything went downhill since that time. Yeah, you can say that he's probably a Bajan because you guys can recognize that, and you guys, acquiesce, and you guys, you woke up in that, you have your crop over, which is like a slave parade and that kind of stuff. You guys like that shit. You guys like that shit, okay? So yeah, these first pages of your paper, joke. Just joke. Just joke. No one in their right mind, if they're reading the Bible, will see it as something for them to bow down to. No one in their right mind. It's just something to tell you about yourself. Okay, it's telling you about yourself that, people came from outside and they took the women, and something happened in a garden where they were trying out a thing, and then someone else came and said, well, don't try out that thing, here's something else. And you can see that there was experimentation that went on, and the gods that started it all left. It's like, no, we don't want no part of that. In fact, maybe we should try to destroy it. But once you start to create, it seems as though you cannot destroy a thought. You cannot destroy the energy. Because when you come down to it, that's really what it's all about. The spirit of the whole thing. You cannot destroy it. So we're still here. We are still here. But some part of me, I guess I will want to think that if you were to try to make it a better experience, you'll get a little like tap on the shoulder. Not a tap like a tap, but a little, you did good. You would have done well if you tried to make it out of this particular zoo, this particular experiment, noticing what it is and saying, hey, I want better. I don't want to be a part of this. I want better. If there's anything such as, free will, they talk about free will. I don't ever believe we have free will, but they talk about it. And if this is eternity, that's a whole different subject. If it's eternity, it's over. It's over. You can never know the truth. You can never know God. You can never know anything. We're in a different place. Every second we're in a different place of space, and it's expanding, and all the things they write in the science books, which it's not true. It's not true, but it's the best they can go with, because it starts out with 1 and 1 equals 2. And when you start out with 1 and 1 equals 2, you start wrong, you end wrong. It's just not going to go out of this drawer, this folder, this file that you're in. It's like a file in a drawer, and that drawer has a big key, and you can't open up the cabinet to get it out. That's trapped. Another word, trapped. Okay, and whatever's going on outside that room, and outside this atmosphere, outside this world, outside this universe, we can never know. But what you do know is the thought energy that created the earth was one of wickedness, was one that liked wars, they liked slavery, they like sorrow. It's not good. It's not. Whatever created this thought, whoever thought of this thought, that energy, that God is not a good God. And if you're worshiping the God of the Bible, you're not worshiping a good God. This is always going to happen, okay? Because once you fertilize an egg with sperm, nothing good can come of it. Nothing good is going to come of it. You cannot know what's going on in the mind of a male. You cannot know what's going on in the mind of a male. No one should defend them. Let them stand where they are, and let whatever happens, and let whoever is out there to do the judgment and to review things, let that happen. That's my opinion. This is Sherry Veronica.